Hello everyone and welcome to the Big 12 Championship game. Today is all about the trophy. UConn appearing in their second Big 12 championship in the past 3 years. Both teams come into this matchup at 11-1, though UConn went undefeated in conference. Utah is currently on an 11-game winning streak, only losing to TCU in week number 1 of the season. UConn finished the regular season with the second best offense in the country, with the 4th highest points per game. Utah was a team this season that was carried mostly by their rushing attack, having the 3rd best rushing offense in the country, led by halfback Marvin Davis, though it was spread around quite a bit. But today against UConn, they faced the best rush defense in the entire country. A couple seasons ago, UConn, of course, losing to Oklahoma State. Today, looking for revenge, looking to get their first Big 12 title since joining the conference 4 years ago. UConn will start with the football, and we are underway in AT&T Stadium. Back deep to return is Randy Radovich. Some space to the outside for Randy. It's going to be a good return to start the day. And he's up to the 44, which is where John Pelshak and the UConn offense will take over. We go based on stats alone. UConn kind of a big favorite here against the Utes. First down and 10 from the 44, and Pelshak will look to throw for the first time today, finding Terry Overhauser, and he's got the first down. Pelshak almost certainly going to break the single-season passing record today, held by Dan Orlovsky. Only needs a very small amount of yards, as losing a yard on the jet is Dorian Tobin. 2nd and 11. Go Tobin's way again. Really nothing there. Edge set nicely, and it's a 3rd and long. From the Utah 42, no blitz. Looking to throw as Pelshak hit as he throws, and it falls incomplete. Kind of in a no man's land here. UConn will have to punt. Out comes the quarterback, Milau Mond, the number 1 guy here for Utah. 1st and 10 from their own 15. Quick throw. That one is caught by the tight end Austin Ellis. 2nd and inches after the pickup of about 9.5. Man in motion. And then a keeper for Mond, a pitch to the outside. There's nobody here. Byler gonna have to make a tackle, helped out by Adonis Keogh down the field, but a nice pickup for the Utes. A crafty play there for Utah, sees them with some extra yardage. At their own 37, they'll flip sides of the field. Mond out of the shotgun will hand it off, and down he goes. It's J.D. Irwin, tackled in the backfield by Kevin October. Kevin seeing more and more playing time here late in the season. A flag is down. That's on D'Angelo Townsend, undoing the TFL. Make it a 2nd and 10 like it never happened. So it's from the 37 once again, and it's going to be an empty set for Mond. So he, of course, fires over the middle, has a target, and he is just shy of the first. 2 men on either side of Mond. Will they go to the ground here on 3rd and short? They do indeed, but we're in the backfield immediately. Byler and Keogh combining for the tackle for loss. A 4th and 8. The Utes will punt. Not the most promising start to the last drive, but UConn will try again as Pelshak throws quickly, finding Tevin Madu for a short pickup. Utah, similar to UConn, has a pretty nice defensive line. Particularly their 2 edge rushers are going to be a problem today, I'm certain, as Cadet runs this up the middle for a first. From the 44, Pelshak back to pass, blitz on its way, hit as he throws, finding Terry Overhauser, who makes a move for some extra yardage, and is past the 50 up to the 41. On the opposite side of the field now, Cadet gets the carry, nowhere to go, blown up in the backfield. The winner of this game, of course, getting an auto bid to the college football playoffs, though it's likely that both of these teams will make it with the records they had during the regular season. The loser just having to play one more game, as there's a flag down on this run for Tobin. It's going to be a hold on Dan Sanders. 2nd and forever, back to our own side of the field, as Tobin will come in motion, gets the jet touch pass, can't quite find the edge, only a couple yards. 3rd and 20. Pelshak Back to pass. He wants Dorian Tobin down the field. Tobin makes the grab, breaks the tackle. He's into the open field. He's into the end zone for 6. Touchdown, Yukon, as they'll strike first on the deep ball, and extra effort from Dorian Tobin. What a play from the junior utility guy, quarterback, halfback, wide receiver. It doesn't matter. He's finding his way to the end zone for 6. Giving up that play has to feel bad for Utah, forcing a 3rd and forever and giving up a touchdown on that play. Now a 1st and 10 for their offense, looking to match that production over the middle. That is a tackle made by Santos. Similar to UConn, this seems to be kind of a running back by committee here in Utah, as Davis will get a good carry here. A big pickup for Marvin Davis. 1st and 10, just past midfield now, man in motion. Mond will look to throw. Drag route underneath. That is caught. Tackle made by Jamie Santos. This is a UConn defense that has struggled with the short passing game most of the season. Where they haven't struggled, though, is the running game. A short pickup for Davis. Easily the best run defense in the country for the Huskies. As on 3rd and 4, the Utes, they're back to pass. Mond, quick throw, incomplete. Forced out by Hepburn and Santos. It's going to be a punt for Utah. Poor starting field position for the Huskies' new drive. 1st and 10 from their own 10. Tobin makes a cut, finds a little bit of room, and that'll bring us to the end of the 1st quarter. 2nd and 5, Tobin still the back, and back to pass is Pelshak. What a grab made by Dorian Tobin. Tight window throw from John. Maybe not the wisest throw in the world, but if it works, it works. 1st and 10 from the 29. Cadet to get a carry, some open field for Max Cadet. Gets a pickup of 8, making it a 2nd down and 2. Back to pass is Pelshak. Deep shot. Dalton Schmizniak makes the grab on the sideline into the end zone. Touchdown, Yukon. Another deep ball from John Pelshak, who is clearly feeling it today. Dalton Schmizniak on the slot fade, beats his man down the field, and then it was just about John putting it on him. Touchdown, Yukon. They're up 14 early. UConn looking like themselves to end the season versus Colorado, looking like themselves again here against Utah. Scratch that. Austin Ellis with a big pickup up to the 35. 1st and 10 for the Utes. That is J.D. Irwin in the backfield. He will get the carry. He's a much bigger back. 2nd and 1 under center. Davis is the back this time. Will get the carry. Room to the outside. Does Davis have the speed to break away? Has a decent carry, still doesn't go down, having to be forced out of bounds at the 24. So some good running here from Utah as they near the red zone. 1st and 10 from the UConn 24. Running back sent to the right. Time to throw for Mond. Scrambling. He's got all kinds of speed, and he's up inside the 10, forcing a 1st and goal at the 8. 8 minutes left to play in the half, and Utah looking to get on the scoreboard. Handoff going nowhere. That's Bruce Ingold, the halfback 3. 2nd and goal. Ingold still in the backfield. Somebody jumped. It's Townsend again. The 2nd one on the day for the senior. Don't want to have to bench him in such an important game in his senior season, but we'll do what we must to win, as Mond will scramble left side, and Townsend will bring him down along with some help from Nate Putu. 3rd and goal from the 2 this time. I formation. Handoff. Davis. He's not going to get it. Adonis Keogh met him first, and we're going to force the field goal attempt. Really well played by Adonis Keogh, getting some help in the end as well. 4th and goal from the 1. We are concerned about them potentially faking it here. They do not. So 3 points for Utah. They do finally get on the board. 14-3 is your score. New drive starting from our own 20. Pelshak back to pass and throwing left side. Intercepted. Underthrown for Dalton Schmizniak. And it's scores on back-to-back plays for Utah. A field goal and a pick 6. Angel Cole picking off an underthrow from John Pelshak. And it's 6 points for Utah. The PAT going to make it 14-10, and suddenly this game is a lot closer. Not ideal. The freshman quarterback making a mistake. 1st and 10 from the 23 as we begin a new drive, now only with a 4-point lead, and Cadet can't find anywhere to go. 2nd down, and we're back to pass with Pelshak finding Tevin Madu. Good blocking, open field for Tevin Madu. He's past the 50 and up near the 40 before he's forced out of bounds. Under 5 minutes to play now in the half. Pelshak looking to make up for the pick six. Nobody blocking on the right side for a second play in a row. So a 3rd and 9 from the Utah 40. Pelshak back to pass, lobbing one deep for Tevin Madu. He can't make the grab, and it's a 4th and 9. A pretty decent punt from Roger DeLuca. So it's 1st and 10 at the 9. As this is a handoff to the outside open field. A flag down late, though, and this one's coming back due to a hold. A completely unnecessary hold, as it was just totally out of the play. Backs them up to the 7. It's a 1st and 12 now. Handoff, and going nowhere is Davis. 2nd and 11 now. Quick throw underneath. That goes to the tight end Ellis, making it a more manageable 3rd and 6. Empty set for Mond on 3rd down. Always a threat to scramble, and it's actually a designed quarterback run. Santos didn't see it, and he would have been the man in the area to make the stop. Instead, it's a 1st and 10 for Utah. 2-minute timeout. Utah with the football, looking to maybe take the lead before halftime thanks to the pick 6, as down goes J.D. Irwin. 2nd and 2 as they go to the hurry up from their own 29. Mond back to pass, under pressure, throw over the middle, incomplete. A little bit off the mark. 1:42 left to play, and Mond to throw again. This one is completed and held on to for another 1st down. Now at the 33, 1.5 minutes left. They're trying to approach midfield. Mond over the middle, incomplete. Off the mark again, though it did hit his man in the hands. Now a 2nd down for Mond. He's under pressure from McNulty, but finding his target, Joshua Dora, is right there. No gain. 3rd down and 10 to go. Mond throwing over the middle. Incomplete. It's forced out by A.J. Hepburn. And Utah will punt it away here late in the 1st half. 1:05 left to be played. Empty set for Pelshak as UConn looks to add points before the half. Throw over Hauser's direction, but a big hit forces it out. 2nd down as we set up the running back screen for Max Cadet. Has some blockers out in front of him, makes the one-man miss. 3rd and 4, now only 30 seconds left. Pelshak now back to pass. Launching one deep for Tevin Madu. He can't make the miraculous grab. 22 seconds left. UConn will punt. So we'll see if Utah decides to try to do anything with only 16 seconds left on the clock. It's actually just a handoff to Davis. The pickup of about 8. They will not call a timeout, and we will head to the half. 14-10 is your score. The defense has played incredibly, really only allowing the 3 points, the touchdown, of course, coming off of a pick 6 from John Pelshak. So the offense needs to clean it up, needs to get it going a little bit, or we may be at risk of losing another Big 12 championship. 2 more quarters of football left to be played in the Big 12 title game. 1st and 10 from the 14 for Utah. Handoff to Irwin, nowhere to go. It's Joey Terrell with a TFL. 2nd and 11 as Davis checks back into the backfield. Mond will hand it to him. Nowhere to go for Davis. Terrell involved again. Byler, the main man there this time. 3rd and long for the Utes. Mond, with a man in the backfield, will of course look to throw, nearly intercepted by Johnny McNulty. Would have been his 2nd one on the season. 4th and 12 for Utah. They punt on their first drive of the 2nd half. Great starting field position for the Huskies after the Utah punt. 1st and 10 from the Utah 39 as Cadet gets a carry and only gets a yard. The run defense has been really solid for Utah all day today. Pelshak trying to buy time for Tobin to get out into the open field, and he does, and he's going to be just short of that 1st down marker. 3rd and inches, the power back Max Cadet in the game. I think you know where this football's going, and Cadet does not get the first. They mark him short. The offensive line has not been able to get any push so far today, but the offense stays on the field. Going to go for it on 4th and inches from the 30. Max Cadet gets the football. He'll get the first easily this time. 2nd down. Tobin, now the back, will get the carry. And again, not a ton there in the running game. 3rd down and 5 from the 21. Back to pass is Pelshak going Tobin's direction. It's intercepted, and that was actually intended for Dalton Schmizniak. And it's 1st and 10 for Utah at their own 5. Another bad underthrow from Pelshak, his second one of the day that has led to an interception. Dalton had a step, but the pass needed to be over the top. Instead, it was short, and it's picked. It is kind of an iffy situation for Utah, though, as Mond gets the carry, and he's actually going to lose a yard. This defense trying to hold on so that the UConn offense can figure itself out today. 2nd and 11. Ellis is the man in motion, and it's a handoff to Davis, nearly breaking away, nowhere to go. 3rd and 11 from their own 4. Mond under center. He will look to throw this time in the end zone. He scrambles away from Adonis Keough, and he's going to get the first. Looked like he was dead to rights in the end zone, and somehow he gets away. Unbelievable from Milau Mond. 1st and 10 at the 17 now. Handoff, and going backwards is J.D. Irwin. Now a 2nd and 14. Man in motion, and then a keeper for Mond. A pitch to the outside, and Davis, with a bunch of running room, breaks 2 different tackles. He's now losing yardage. Ends up at the 30. On 1st down and 10, another handoff, and Irwin going nowhere again. Joshua Dora was the first man to meet him. Now 2nd down and 12. Quick throw, incomplete. Santos forcing it out. 3rd and 12 for the Utes. Mond to pass. Over the middle, that is completed. A.J. Hepburn can't keep up, and it's Bruce Ingold with the reception. Up to the Yukon 42, a 1st and 10 for Utah. Davis is the back. Mond is under center. Brings his man in motion. It's actually a handoff to the tight end. That is Devontae Self, the backup tight end. So a 2nd and 9, 2 backs in the backfield, Ingle and Davis. As Davis will get the throw here. Joshua Dora too slow to keep up. Davis into the open field, has to be brought down by Byler. And that's on Joshua Dora. A terrible angle taken. A drive that started on the 5. 1st and 10 from the 12 now for Utah. And it's a handoff to Davis up the middle. Dora can't make the tackle, and finding the end zone is Marvin Davis. Utah will take the lead for the first time today, scoring off of 2 John Pelshak turnovers now, along with a field goal to make it 17-14 pending the PAT. This UConn offense needs to figure it out. 1st and 10 Huskies, looking to get back on the scoreboard for the first time in a while as Dorian Tobin is laid out. The running game is just not working today, making us a bit one-dimensional. And we've seen how that one dimension has been going. So we get this to Tobin, some open field for Dorian Tobin, never a bad thing. Is good for a first. Under 15 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Tobin gets the carry following blocks and gets 5, which is one of the better carries on the day. One more quarter of action to be played here in the Big 12 title game as Pelshak is back to pass, lobs one up for Dalton Schmizniak. It's dropped. The junior dropping a perfect ball from John Pelshak. And I am not kidding. This is perfectly in the bucket from John, and it's just off the fingertips of Dalton Schmizniak. He had some drop problems last season. I was hoping they were gone. Clearly not the case. Now a 3rd and 5 as Pelshak is back to pass, finding Terry Overhauser, but he's short of the first. 4th and 1 from our own 47. Offense stays on the field. It's the Wildcat. Cadet is the back. Lead blocker is Don Lambo. Max Cadet finds some space, breaks a tackle, and has a first. A big time first down for Max Cadet. Much, much needed. 1st and 10 from the 39. Tobin will get a carry here, trying to find the edge, and gets about 9. On 2nd and 1, it's going to be a delayed handoff to Cadet. He's going to lose 2 yards. Where is the run blocking today? 3rd and 3 from the 32. It's a direct snap to Tobin, and he will find the first down. From the 27, a 1st and 10. As Pelshak looking for Dalton Schmizniak, end zone touchdown. He's not dropping this one. Dalton Schmizniak making up for the drop earlier in the drive, this time holding on to the football, gets a touchdown for UConn to retake the lead. Another perfect ball from John Pelshak, maybe starting to feel it a little bit here late in the game. The previous drive for Utah was 11 plays, 95 yards. Will they be able to sustain that kind of production as J.D. Irwin will find a yard? J.D. Irwin in particular seems to be struggling against this UConn D-line. Seems like Marvin Davis has some decent blocks from time to time. And here's a prime example. Marvin Davis to the outside, past the 30 and up to the 40, where Nate Putu will tackle him out of bounds. Seems like the O-line just likes Davis more. Flag is down on that play. I didn't see any movement, but I'll take the false start. First and 15 from their own 36. 7:45 left to play, and Mond looking to throw. This one incomplete. Well played by George Kiki. Second and long now from their own 36. Mond throwing. Takes a chunk of yardage to make it a little bit more manageable on third. This UConn defense has given up third and long all day today. Will it happen again on 3rd and 8? This one is completed right in front of Santos. That is Xavier McCracken, I believe, for the first time today. He is their wide receiver 1. First and 10 from the UConn 45 now as Austin Ellis goes in motion to the left. And it'll be play action under pressure from Kevin October. He gets it out to Ellis, who is tackled down by Joey Terrell. 6 minutes left to play. 2nd and 7. Under center, Davis the back. Quick throw from Mond. That is completed to McCracken again. Almost starting to feel like the touchdown is inevitable from Utah as they just get chunk play after chunk play. Davis only going to pick up a yard here. 5 minutes left. 4:45 to be precise. Mond to Davis. And he makes a move and down he goes. Bruce Ingold now the back. A number of people jumped. It's going to be called on UConn. And that makes it a 3rd and 2 instead of a 3rd and 7. Much easier to convert for Utah. Davis now the back. Ellis in motion to the left. Will they go to the ground? They will, but it's with the quarterback, Milau Mond, and he's inside the 10, breaking a tackle attempt from A.J. Hepburn. It's a 1st and goal. Now 4 minutes left to be played. And from the 8, goal to go, their first attempt. Send the running back to the right. And this one incomplete. Looked like that was supposed to be a tight end screen. 2 backs once again, Davis and Ingold. And Davis is going to be the one that gets the carry. Dennis Colin from the opposite side chases him down. And that's the type of speed that Dennis Colin brings to the table. 3rd and goal from the 11. Mond, all kinds of time. Corner, end zone, caught for a touchdown. As somehow that gets past everyone. Into the end zone for 6 is Bruce Ingold. And Utah will take the lead with under 4 minutes remaining. Plenty of time for UConn. A field goal ties the game. A touchdown takes the lead. No need to panic. We're back to throw with Pelshak, and he just throws this one away. 2nd and 10 from the 19. Pelshak's back to pass over the middle, finding Madu, fighting for the yardage, makes it a 3rd and 1. From the 28, Cadet is the back. He will get the football here, and he will get the first. About to hit the 2-minute timeout. 2:07 as the snap is taken and the pass is made to Dan Sanders. And that will bring us to that 2-minute timeout. 2nd and 6. Pelshak back to pass. Takes the check down to Overhauser. No gain. 1.5 left to be played. So we look to throw for Jeffrey Ritchie, and he holds on. Now 1 minute left. As Pelshak will go down and we'll call our first timeout. A sack forced by Utah, now a 2nd and 18. Hit as he throws is Pelshak again. Where has the O-line gone? 3rd and 18, obvious 4-down territory for UConn. Pelshak lobbing one down the field for Tevin Madu. He can't make the grab, and the game comes down to this. 4th and 18. The season on the line for the Huskies. Back to passes Pelshak over the middle, finding Dorian Tobin. What a throw from John Pelshak. UConn will go in the no huddle, still wanting to win this football game, of course. Pelshak back to pass, finding Dan Sanders through the middle. 25 seconds left to be played. They're back in the hurry up. 1st and 10 from the 13. Pelshak to throw again. scrambling, end zone, Dan Sanders, touchdown, Huskies. Pelshak is a hero, making the throw on 4th and 18 to Dorian Tobin to miraculously keep the drive alive, and then back-to-back no-huddle plays to the tight end Dan Sanders for 6. The Huskies are going to take the lead, and with 15 seconds left, it would take a miracle for Utah to match it. This is a very important kickoff for Roger DeLuca. Kick is on its way. Just need to make sure they don't get a great return, as he's brought down pretty quickly at the 19, leaving his team 11 seconds. A field goal obviously won't do it. 11 seconds, enough time for a few plays. They have, of course, all of their timeouts. Mond will check it down left side, tackle him in bounds. They have to burn the first one. 2nd and 8. Mond to throw again. Launching one deep down the field, and it is knocked away, and the clock hits 0. UConn are your Big 12 champions. 28-24, your final. UConn facing even more adversity, and this time overcoming it. What a game and what a performance from John Pelshak. I think there's an argument to be made that he's the reason this game was even close with a couple of interceptions he had, but man, oh man, if he didn't step up when it counts. That throw to Tobin on the 4th and 18, I will not soon forget. And of course, the touchdown to take the lead to Dan Sanders. UConn are your Big 12 champs. What a game it was. A really, really fun one. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. 28-24 is the final. Man, it really felt like we were kind of handing that game to Utah for a while. I obviously was not playing my best with Pelshak in the first half. I think I turned it around a little bit in the second half. Had a couple dumb interceptions. The pick 6 was especially dumb on my behalf, but hey, you know what? It set up for a really fun game, I think. Speaking of John, though, one of his better performances in terms of pure yardage on the season, an absolute gunslinger stat line, 70% completion percentage, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, and of course the 2 interceptions. Rushing the ball, we could not run the ball today. 4.2 average for Tobin is not as bad as it looks, but man, it was difficult to run the football today. Cadet could not get it going, although he did manage to get us a few clutch first downs. Tobin 8 for 116 and a tutty. Really good performance from him. Overhauser had a number of catches. Tevin Madu as important to the offense as ever. Dan Sanders 3 for 32. A couple of those catches coming back to back on the final 2 offensive plays for the Huskies, including the game-winning touchdown reception. And Dalton Schmizniak 2 catches for 90, both of those going for 6. Defensively, Dennis Colin is the man who showed up the most today in terms of solo tackles. Byler, of course, with total tackles, he leads the team in that department. Joey Terrell, kind of back to his old self, 4 TFLs. We did not have a sack today. We led the country in sacks. We could not get one today. I just want to watch this 4th and 18 one more time. Absolutely incredible. Like, look at that throw from John. I did intentionally put the throw in the red. I find that when you do that, you get a little bit more zip on the ball than you do a lot of the times, and you can make these kind of tighter window throws. I know that they are harder to catch for the receivers, but honestly, that kind of makes it fun. Like, it's a challenging throw to make, so it should be a challenging catch to make, I think. But yeah, what a throw here from John Pelshak. I was looking at Dalton Schmizniak because he was one-on-one in press, which you know how that goes for Dalton, and he did beat his man off the line pretty easily, but there was safety help over the top. I think if we lob this to Dalton, it probably just gets swatted away by the safety. That was my first look. And then I saw that Tobin had a linebacker, and that because his route was kind of in breaking, I just hucked it in there, just held the button until it was in the red, and it worked, and I'm so glad it did. So UConn, for the first time in the series, are Big 12 champions. First time since joining the conference 4 years ago, have already become the top dog in the Big 12. And you know what that means? That means an auto bid into the playoffs and a first round bye. Let's go ahead and advance the week and see where we land in the college football playoff bracket. Elias Kotuvides has committed as well, the 3-star out of Spring Branch, Texas. Dorian Tobin wins Big 12 Offensive Player of the Week. It's showing his halfback stats, his rushing stats, which obviously were not impressive. It was him in the passing game that was most impressive in that win against Utah. Here is the official college football playoff bracket. UConn makes it as the 2 seed, Ohio State the 1, Georgia the 4, and Cal the 3. I apologize for saying that out of order. Alabama versus Florida at the top half of the first round, SMU, UNC, Auburn, Oregon, and then UConn will face the winner of Kansas State versus Utah. So it might actually be a rematch in the Cotton Bowl. Now that we're into the postseason, here are the Heisman finalists. Chance Stubbs, the favorite to win. Tobin has actually dropped to 3rd, but is a finalist, unlikely to win the award though. You probably noticed that Alabama was no longer the 1 seed after this weekend. They lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game 34-19. So here's a look at the final top 25 before we head into the playoffs. Ohio State is the 1, UConn up to the 2, Alabama 3, Oregon 4, Cal 5, Utah down to 6, Georgia is 7th, UNC 8, SMU 9, Kansas State 10, Auburn 11, and Florida 12. Here's some teams that narrowly missed out on the college football playoffs. I'm actually kind of surprised that Western Kentucky didn't make it after the great season that they had. And then Arizona rounds out the top 25. So let's go ahead and advance the week. See if we will be facing Kansas State or Utah in the second round of the playoffs. Tyler Trejo, the 4-star quarterback, has committed. So when Pelshak graduates, Trejo would be becoming a redshirt junior and could theoretically take over if we feel he is ready or if we don't find anyone else. LaMichael Haywood has committed. I'm actually a little surprised by that. Thought we were going to lose him, but the middle linebacker has committed. A good ad considering we're losing Addison Biggs, Gerard Byler, and of course Joey Terrell. All 3 were linebackers. Brendan Ezekiel, our defensive coordinator, has won the Broyles Award. Darian Goldwire wins the Heisman. Out of nowhere, the Ohio State receiver comes in and steals it from Stubbs, the Alabama quarterback, at the very end. Adonis Keough wins the Best Defensive Player Award. Much deserved. A 20-sack season from Adonis Keough. Absolutely incredible. Adonis Keough wins Best Defensive End. Kind of goes hand in hand. If you're the best defensive player, you're going to be the best defensive end. Congratulations to Adonis, quickly becoming maybe my favorite player in the entire series. Dorian Tobin wins Best Running Back for the season, which is interesting because his running back stats are not really that impressive. They're obviously taking into consideration his receiving stats as well. Byler wins Best Defensive Back this season, which I think is deserved. He did lead the team in tackles and was just everywhere. But I think in the run game in particular, he was extremely impressive. Addison Biggs is the best linebacker. Congratulations to the senior. Only got to play here in his senior season and really, I think, definitely outplayed Joey Terrell for the most part this season. He didn't even start the first couple of games, taking over for Dennis Colin in the second or third game, I can't remember which, and playing super well the whole season. Adonis Keough wins the Lombardi Award. Man, Adonis Keough, a big-time award winner now. I wonder if he may declare for the draft. Here's early national signing day. We did lose our 3-star gem, Paul McTavish, to Auburn. Not that big of a deal. I'm going to go ahead and remove him from the board. The only 2 people left to make their decisions are Greg McDaniels and Eli Chestnut. It looks like Nebraska might be sneaking in to steal McDaniels from us. We currently have the number 2 recruiting class in the country before we get to the offseason. So we are now to bowl week 1, which means Kansas State and Utah are about to face off to see who comes to play us in the second round in the Cotton Bowl. So let's advance one more time. Greg McDaniels does decide to commit to UConn. I really thought Nebraska was going to steal him, but we get a safety, very much needed. Kansas State upsets Utah, and UConn will face them in the Cotton Bowl. UConn beating Kansas State earlier this season. Can they do it for a second time? Part of me was hoping for a rematch against that Utah team. So in the first round, Florida dominates Alabama. That is crazy. Alabama was the number 1 team in the country the entire season. I think even since the preseason, Alabama was number 1. Went undefeated and then ultimately lose to Georgia and then Florida back to back and are just instantly eliminated. Disappointing end to what was a fantastic season for Alabama. SMU squeaking by UNC, wins 27-24. Auburn loses by a point to Oregon, and Oregon will face Cal in the second round. And then Kansas State winning by 3 versus Utah. They will face us in the Cotton Bowl. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed. That was one of the more fun games I think we've played in the series. Really exciting down to the very end. The next episode will be the Cotton Bowl versus Kansas State. As a reminder, we beat Kansas State all the way back in week number 7, 24-14. Shout out as always to the channel members. You guys are of course the reason I can continue to make these videos. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so by hitting the join button down below for as low as $1 per month. And if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next episode where UConn looks to make a deep playoff run, making it to the semifinal by beating Kansas State in the Cotton Bowl. Can they make it happen?